Welcome back, grade 10s. All right, let's talk about gross pay. So gross pay essentially is a fancy financial word that means your total amount earned before tax or other deductions. And we're going to talk about tax and other deductions that might occur to your paycheck later in the unit. But for this lesson, we're just looking at, again, that total amount that you earned before tax. Okay, so first question. A carpenter earns $20.50 per hour. If she works a 40-hour work week, what is her gross income each week? Okay, so remember that gross income means the total that she earns before she gets taxed. And so we're going to look at her hourly wage. We know that she earns $20.50 per hour. And, oh, that's not an R. Let's try again. And that she earned money over 40 hours this week, right? So she worked 40 hours. And so then just grabbing my calculator here, I'm going to type in $20.50 times 40 hours per week, or in this case, per 1 week. And that means she earned $820 per week. Okay. The next question asks, how much does the carpenter make per year? So remember that if we have a weekly income amount, we can multiply it by 52 to get the yearly amount. Okay, so just keep that in mind, and we're going to do that down here. So we have $820 per week times 52 weeks per year. That is going to give us, when I multiply by 52, let's see, $42,640 per year. Okay, let's move on to the next question. Peter works in the trucking business and charges $34.25 per hour to drive new materials to new locations. If he worked the following hours, so these hours, in this week, how much was his gross income for the week? Okay, so in this question, we have a couple steps that we need to do, right? So we can see that we have all his hours listed here, but they're not summed up like they were in the previous example. So we need to figure out what's the total number of hours that he worked before we figure out how much he earned, because we know that he earns $34.25 per hour. That's a key piece of information, but we need to figure out how many hours to figure out how much money. So total hours, we're going to just add them all up. So on Monday he worked 6 hours, on Tuesday he worked 8, on Wednesday he worked 12, and on Thursday he worked another 8. Okay, so when we add those all up, we're going to get 34 hours. Okay, and so that is a bad looking S. Okay, there we go. Now that we have the hours, we can figure out how much he earned based on his hourly wage. So we're going to take those 34 hours, we're going to multiply them by $34.25 per hour, and that is going to give us his grand total, his gross income for the week, which is $1,164.50. Okay, I just want to remind you that if you're doing this on your calculator would have shown up without that 0, right? It would have just said 1,164.5. But remember that because we're talking about money, we do need to have those 2 decimal places there. So we need to put a 0 at the end to say 50 cents. Okay, let's go down the page here to the example about Anna. Pardon me. So Anna works in a greenhouse, and last week she also worked 34 hours. This is a total coincidence, you guys. I just made these examples up. I didn't realize that everything was going to be working out to 34 in this page, but that's not on purpose, okay? There's no significance to that. Anyways, so she worked 34 hours, and her gross income was $329.12. So those are our very important pieces of information. Okay, so now we would like to figure out what is her hourly wage. So if you look at the previous examples, you can see that we were multiplying number of hours worked by the pay to get the gross pay, right? And that's what we did in this previous example as well, right? We took the number of hours and we multiplied it by his or her, whatever, pay to get the gross pay. And so this question with Anna is a little bit different because this time I actually gave you the gross pay and the hours, so now we need to figure out how much she earns per hour. And so to do that, all we have to do is do some division instead of multiplication, right? If we know that she earned $329.12 in 34 hours, then we can divide by 34 to figure out how much per 1 hour, okay? I'll show you another way to do this in just 2 seconds, but let's just do this way first. Some of you will remember back to our proportions unit, our constant proportionality discussion, and that might resonate a little bit better with you. We can do it that way as well, but this is the first way. Okay, so that's $9.68 per hour. So she's not earning a ton of money at this job, but it's working for her, I guess. Okay, the other way to do it, okay, this is totally optional. You do not have to do this both ways. Just as always, pick a method that you like. Let's try that again. There we go. And that's over 34 hours, okay? And so we're saying what is the amount of money in 1 hour, right? So again, we have a complete set of information like we always wanted in our proportionality unit, our proportions unit, and then we have an unknown, and one of that pair is known as well, right? So we have like a full pair and an incomplete pair. I hope that's making sense. I know it's been a little bit since we've done this unit, and so to do that, you actually don't need to include all the unit signs in this question, okay? We can just set this up like we usually did in proportions with the numbers. That makes it easier to solve, okay? Then we're going to do some cross multiplying, okay? I'm going to multiply up and across, and so we're going to get that. Let's go back to that color. Here we go. 329.12, right, multiplied by 1 is just itself, gives us 34x, okay, and then to solve, I'm going to divide both sides by 34, and that is going to give me that same, there we go, that same number as the first method, okay, and that's $9.68 per hour. So, again, either method, whichever one you prefer, both of them are fine, okay? All right, Mason is a hairdresser, and he earned $39,465.77 in a year. So we want to figure out a couple things about his monthly and weekly income. So this is similar to the previous question where we're going to start with that total number of dollars, in this case, this very large number, okay? And we want to figure out monthly income, so remember that there are 12 months in a year. Oh boy. Oh goodness, there we go. Okay. And that means that we can divide by 12 to get our answer. Okay. And so $39,465.77 divided by 12 is going to give me $3,288.81 per month. Okay. And then average weekly income, again, a reminder that there are 52 weeks in a year, so that's going to be being paid 52 times in a year. Again, if you don't have that table memorized by now that we did in the last lesson, you should memorize it, okay? It will make your lives so much easier when you're doing work from this unit. All right, so weekly income, again, we're going to start with $39,465.77, and we're going to divide it this time by 52 because we're talking about weekly income instead of monthly. Okay, so we're going to divide, and when I do that on my calculator here, I'm going to get $758.96. Oh, interesting program here. Sorry about that, you guys. Okay, 58 cents. There we go. Nope, $58.96. Perfect. Per week. That was a crazy thing that the program did. Holy, didn't know it could do that. Okay, anyways, there we go. And just for those of you who are looking for shortcuts or that kind of thing, I just want to remind you that you cannot divide this number to get to here because the number of months and weeks don't correspond exactly. Okay. Of course, there are ways to go around this if you wanted to find them, but I think personally it's easiest to just start with this and then remember how many pay periods we're looking at and then do the division from there. And then that will give you the answer. Okay, so there we go. That's it for this time. I didn't do a try it on this page just because it's very similar to last page, just with the extension of trying to figure out like how many hours, like in this question. Oh, shoot. There you go. How many hours, like in this question, that the person may have worked. But it is an extension of last lesson, so if last lesson was going okay for you, this lesson should be fine. If you are having trouble, though, and want some more practice, let me know. and I can get that for you. All right, I'll see you next video.